I'm Joe Williams from the Fire Brigades Union. I'm here at the union's headquarters in London. I'm joined by the General Secretary, Matt Wrack. There's been a major announcement today on the pensions campaign. Matt, what's happening?
Well, today we've announced two further periods of strike action. The first of those is a 24-hour strike starting at 9 o'clock on Thursday the 12th of June. And secondly, a 7-hour strike starting at 10 o'clock on the 21st of June. So two further periods, one of which is of course significantly longer than earlier periods during this campaign. In addition to that, we've called a period of action short of strike to cover the start of that strike action until shortly after the end of it.
Okay, and what exactly will that involve?
The action short of strike will involve a ban on voluntary overtime, non-contractual overtime. And in addition, it will include members who are being asked currently to train people who are being used to undermine our strike, not training those people. So we're aware that some fire services have recruited people off the street, given them some sort of training, which we don't believe is remotely adequate in any case, and then sending them to effectively strike break. We don't think it's appropriate to be asking our members to do that work to undermine our own members' campaign to defend their pensions. So we're telling our members that they should not engage in that training during that period. In addition, we'll be advising that should any fire service lock out our members, i.e. dock pay for the duration of a shift, even though the strike is for less than a shift, then we will not be crossing borders into that brigade during that period of that lockout or docking of pay. So I'd urge those fire service employers to think twice before they embark on that route. They will be the people escalating this dispute in those circumstances, but we're not going to allow them to pick off our members in individual brigades in that way and penalise them simply for standing up to defending their pensions.
Okay, you met, of course, the Fire Minister in Westminster, Brandon Lewis, earlier in the week, but there was nothing there to prevent strikes happening, unfortunately.
We had a very disappointing meeting with Brandon Lewis earlier this week. Myself and the President met him and his team of civil servants and advisors, and nothing positive came out of that meeting, unfortunately. We are aware that Brandon Lewis and his team are now addressing one issue in a method, which is the issue of no job, no pension, the question of fitness and capability dismissals. They now intend to consult on that with a view to putting into the national framework. He'd already advised people on that, so he discussed that to some degree. But the most alarming thing was that on many issues, it struck us that they had not listened to our arguments over the past 2 years. They had taken no account of our arguments over the past 2 years. They'd ignored all the evidence we were presenting, and frankly they'd ignored the evidence of their own report that department commissioned from Dr. Williams, which clearly identifies there's a problem with fitness, in that because of the standards that firefighters are required to meet, fitness will decline as people get older, and that creates a specific problem for the fire service. They're completely burying their heads in the sand over that, and that's completely unacceptable.
Okay, during the last period of strike action, it emerged that they were in possession of alternative proposals, fully costed proposals, and of course the Fire Brigade Union was asking for their publication. Has there been any progress there?
No, again, there's been no progress on that. FBU members will be aware that we've been discussing since January, since the strike on the 3rd of January, with the government's actuaries, our actuaries and so on, all of these advisors, about whether there might be some improvements to the proposals. Any improvements, I think, would be up to our members to decide whether they were acceptable, whether they would resolve the dispute and so on. That's a matter for our members to decide at the appropriate time. Those ideas were then sent off to be costed, and Brandon Lewis himself announced that one of those ideas was costed on the 19th of March. We were expected to be presented with some of these proposals or ideas in March, and then in April, and then in May. They've never arrived. Brandon Lewis has now started a public consultation on changing the rules for our pension scheme. That's now underway, and what we're saying is, for that consultation to be genuine, he should release all the relevant information, all the costings that he's had done, all the alternatives he's looked at, so that people can have a proper view and make proper decisions. So, for example, the other ministers in Scotland or Wales should have the chance to look at that. Firefighters should have the chance to look at that. The public should have the chance to look at that. more importantly, we're saying to him, turn those into actual proposals, put them on the table, let our members see them, let our members make a judgment, and they'll decide what to do next.
Okay, Matt, thanks very much. Remember, you can find all the updates on the pensions campaign and other matters on www.fbu.org.uk, or why not follow us on Twitter at FBU National. Thanks very much.
There's power in the factory, power in the land, power in the hand of the worker. But it all amounts to nothing if together we don't stand. There is power